All right, we're back. It's another edition of Derailed. That's Harry Mays. I'm Eitan Shander, and I don't even know where to begin, man.
There's so much that has happened, and it's still happening, probably unfolding right now as we speak, too. It's like the whole day has just been trades involving the Sixers and the Phillies getting involved in a big deal, too. We had the Sixers make the big move the other day. I mean, this deadline, finally, the NBA trade deadline has delivered. For us locally.
I was going to say, the only thing that could knock off what's happened so far would be if Machado or Harper were to sign in Philadelphia.
Yes.
Or basically anywhere else.
Yeah, right.
That would be like the total just kicking the balls or just the yes, that would knock things off. Now, let me ask you where you rank the three things that have happened over the last couple of days. Because we've got the Tobias Harris trade, which was gigantic. Mm-hmm. We've got the trade for, people would argue, I'd be one of them, Real Muto is the best catcher, offensive catcher in baseball, one of them.
Yes, he is.
So you've got a major upgrade, and not Alfaro was bad, but that's a huge deal for the Phillies. And then maybe not so much the player, but the story of Markelle Fultz gone.
Yes.
So in reverse order for me, it's Fultz, Harris, and only because Harris is so big, he's above the Phillies.
So what is the most important story?
I think the most important story is Markelle Fultz. Not because of how good he is or bad he is, because
just to have that baggage and all that sort of that black cloud away from the organization.
Have you seen, outside of running the burner accounts,
we
haven't seen anything like this.
No.
The guy just didn't know how to play basketball, forgot all these things.
It's like he forgot how to shoot.
Yeah. And I think you'll look at him, you'll kind of keep like an eye on him. He's like an XX.
Oh, I'm going to keep my eye on him. Yeah, absolutely. Right? I mean, I can keep my eye on Okafor and all these guys.
You're watching Jaleel out there?
Well, I'm not watching him, but I look at the box scores. I see, what kind of production he's doing, how many minutes he's
playing. I remember Okafor.
Yeah. No, but this one I will really keep an eye on to see if he ever does materialize into any form of an NBA player. Because right now, that's up in the air.
Right.
And I'm really surprised that they were able to pull a deal off like they did, getting Jonathan Simmons, who's like a wing guard player, and a couple of draft picks. They got Cleveland's second-round pick, which is probably going to be very high in the second round, and they got an Oklahoma City pick,
which
that
will be
Orlando had. But
that's the pick. They get back a back-end first-round pick that they lost or gave up in the Tobias Harris
their
trade.
own pick, you're talking about. Yeah.
So Elton Brand really did a masterful job. I'm shocked. Orlando overpaid for Fultz. I'm shocked. They have a terrible salary situation. They got three guys that are going to be owed $50 million next year. You add Fultz, that's $65 million for four guys. And
one guy you don't even know if he can play.
Correct. Correct. And that doesn't count both Terrence Ross and Vucevic off the books this year.
Right.
So of those four guys, none of them are Ross or Vucevic.
No, you're right.
Listen, I think you hit the head for me, onto the head for me, which is this thing is done. The story is over. Whatever happens with Markelle Fultz is chapter 2, but it was not meant to be. And with the trade for Tobias Harris, you needed that money.
Yeah.
Whether or not you believe in Fultz, you need the money.
Right, and I'd love to know, from the people what their lasting image is or how they will remember Markelle Fultz, because I can't get it out of my head of the image of seeing him sitting on the bench last year in the playoffs.
Yes.
In his like sport coat or whatever, just goofing. He's always goofing around, joking and laughing, having a gay old time, as they used to say.
He's on the bench. He's hanging out.
Yeah, he's just having a hell of a time.
And they're all like,
this NBA thing is cool.
Isn't it like this? He won a contest.
Whoa, yeah, right. And it's unbelievable. I'm like, this guy was the first overall pick, and he literally looks like he's on a field trip.
Absolutely. It's amazing.
Yeah.
He snuck in. It's like when you were at a game at a kid, it was a blowout, and you were able to sneak down close in the second half.
You started eyeing seats up. Hey, we could sneak down there. We could sit right behind the bench, man. Those guys just left.
It's true. It really.
The security guard turns his head, and you're in there, and all of a sudden you're sitting in the seats, man. This is great.
Fultz is looking around like, wait a second, did they catch me? He's not used to sitting courtside.
Unbelievable.
But you're right. I think that's a great lasting image of it. I don't think that there is a positive image for me that will be lasting. I think that one thing, it's interesting you bring this up because I'll take it a different way. It's not so much the lasting image of Fultz, but I think the big thing I'll remember about Markelle Fultz's tenure here, outside of just him faking or forgetting how to play, whatever. The standing ovation he got his first year, where he missed mainly the entire season, and then came on the floor after all these issues and criticisms, and the fans really showed up. And you know that people would be like, oh, Philadelphia, they're going to rip everybody.
Right.
That, I think, is more of a
made a shot, and people went crazy.
Well, he got a standing ovation when he checked in.
Oh, yeah.
But I think it wasn't so much of, Harry, like, hey, let's just prop up a guy because we want to. I think that there was understanding from the fans, empathy from the fans of what he was going through at the time.
Yeah.
But my image or my feel for Foles is, could be a great kid. I don't know. I'm done. I didn't want this. I didn't want this anywhere near the team. I was sick and fucking tired of talking about this.
Well, it appeared the other day when Brett Brown was asked by the media about whether he thinks Foles will be able to give him anything this year, and he basically gave you, I have zero faith that he's going to give amount to anything for us this year. And once that became apparent, and you're like, wow, that's unbelievable. A whole another year of waste, a wasted year.
Right.
So, and I can't believe that they were able to off him for anything, let alone a couple of draft picks.
I was shocked, too.
A bench player.
I was really shocked that they got that much back from a haul. But who knows? The trade deadline was winding down.
Yeah.
So maybe they couldn't really get what they wanted. Or maybe Orlando couldn't get what they wanted. They still wanted to make a move. I don't know why Orlando made that move. I still don't know. It's mind-boggling. But this will be one of the craziest stories to happen in Philadelphia sports that we've ever seen.
Yeah. It really has.
Two draft picks,
and couple that with the Colangelo thing. It was
the guy who brought
that was
in.
Just a weird. If somebody put that together in a screenplay and tried to get this green lighted as a story, people are like, huh? This is like the most unbelievable story. Get out of here. Get lost.
Now, who would you have play Colangelo?
Oh, no idea.
Kevin Costner? He's a hateable guy now, right?
You hate Kevin Costner?
He's not a good actor.
Well, that's okay. He's a marginal actor, but I don't hate him.
It's not that I hate him. It's just like he's hateable.
You got to get somebody that looks more like a Dracula.
Yeah, I was thinking with but Costner has that. You could build Costner up into like a villain.
I don't know. I'm not good at casting movies.
No?
No.
All right, that's fine.
I'm good at watching movies.
You are? Have you seen anything recent?
No.
You watching True Detective?
I'm watching the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel right now. I'm almost done with the second season.
What the hell is that?
It's about a Jewish comedienne.
The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel?
Yeah, it's a show on Amazon.
Really?
Yeah.
Amazon's good.
Prime.
I like Prime.
Prime.
What the hell's it about?
She's a comedienne who gets separated from her husband and tries her hand at comedy. Her husband.
Is it a modern tale?
No, it's set back in the 50s, the late 50s to 1960s.
Well, you got to let us know.
Yeah, it's a period piece in New York City.
Right.
Then she goes to the Catskills on the Borscht Belt, they all do.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's funny. It's clever. I like it.
Is her comedy funny in the
It's
show?
not bad. It's not bad. You kind of think of it might have been maybe thinking Joan Rivers back in the 60s kind of thing. Yeah.
Who's in it? Anybody
She's a little blue.
Not like Jackie Martling blue.
No. How great was
we got to get into that.
I'll tell you what, that was awesome.
Right.
No, she's not that blue, but who was in it?
Anybody?
The guy that played Monk. Remember the series
Robert Shalhoub. Tony Shalhoub.
Tony Shalhoub is her father. He's really good.
So he's got a prominent role?
A prominent role,
wow.
Yeah. And the mother, his wife in the show, her mom was on 2.5 Men. She played his brother's ex-wife that they'd go and visit every now and then.
Did you watch that show?
Yeah, I used to watch it. I watched it when Sheen was on it. Once Kutcher got in there, I'm out. Yeah. I'm out on Aston Kutcher.
Did you only watch it because of Sheen?
Pretty much.
That John Cryer, not so funny?
John Cryer's wife in the character. Ex-wife. Is
okay. I think
is her mom and Tony Shalhoub's character's wife.
I think I know you're talking.
So that there's somebody
All right, no, I'll
it's not bad.
I'll put it on the queue.
Yeah.
Now you're not watching True Detective?
Not yet.
Season 3?
No, I've heard it's great.
It is amazing. It is right up there with the first episode, first season.
Yeah.
And it's back to I tell you, Steven Dorff.
Yeah, I heard he's great.
He is the main guy. I forget his name, but he's just so powerful and charismatic on screen, and he plays the former soldier, now cop, and he plays this role very chiseled. You know The Wire.
Yes.
Remember The Wire? He reminds me a lot of the lieutenant in The Wire. Not necessarily how he looks, but just how he acts. And then you've got Dorff, who the best part about True Detective is they take you through the 3 different time scenes.
Right.
And time frames.
He plays all this.
Correct.
The
all
3 characters
they all do.
as they age.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Yes. They all do who are around.
I heard that.
Dorff, they just introduced in episode 5. They just introduced the current day Dorff, like the older, and he's a really good actor. I'm surprised he didn't pick up more.
Yeah. Well, it's weird how that happens.
Well, I guess you stick around for a little bit and then you get popped.
Yeah.
All right. So Markelle Fultz was the big thing. Tobias Harris was the other.
What a pickup there! I mean,
I like this as much as the Butler move.
Yeah, but they're both in essence a little scary because each guy could walk.
Sure.
And you're giving up, that conditional or the unconditional pick or unprotected pick for the Heat pick in 2021. You're giving that up. You're giving a guy up that we both liked and started to really like in Landry Shamet.
I know.
Now I know
painful.
you can find another Landry Shamet. Okay, there's not Tobias Harris. There's not a Tobias Harris tree.
That's fair.
Out in the back of the facility where you can just pluck another 6'9", 6'10", athletic stretch 4.
We're not growing Tobias or Harris trees.
No, but I think you can find a Landry Shamet tree.
Okay.
And maybe at Lowe's.
Maybe you get a grow lamp to expedite.
True. But I liked him though.
Yeah,
you got to give to get. I understand that, but when you think about what this gives them as a starting 5, I mean it's a starting 5 that can win an NBA championship.
The Warriors.
They can compete with the Warriors.
The biggest thing now is I need to see how they play. They've got a good amount of 30, 35 games. I need to see how they play because Toronto. It's still Toronto, and I know they made this move with Marc Gasol. I wasn't totally impressed with it. They lose.
He's old and slow.
34.
Yeah.
And Valanciunas was good.
Yeah, he was. Now he didn't play the other night. He was the only guy that they didn't have available. But he is a good player.
It's a marginal upgrade at best, and I don't know why you would tap into some back end of your depth just to bring in Gasol. But the point of it is that you still have Kawhi, and you have a formidable defender and a guy who could play some offense and Gasol down low. Toronto is still deep. They're still the team to beat. But that's why Fultz had to go. This is now a core that you can re-sign and keep. This is a better scenario than the Warriors are in long term.
28 games to go.
28,
for the Sixers,
even less than 30.
Yeah.
The Warriors are about to lose Durant. They could lose Klay Thompson.
Yeah.
You are at the beginning of a big. How many other big 4s are there in the NBA?
No, it's tough to get 4.
It is.
Yeah, there's a bunch of 3s.
You really have like a 2.5 in OKC. Would you count Steven Adams as a 3?
No, I'd say half.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of areas where you've got.
How many does Houston have? They got Chris Paul and they got James Harden. Who's their third? Like, would it be Capella? I mean, is he a full third or is he a 2.5?
I think he's more of a 2.5.
Yeah.
Especially when you look at that position and you can look at like 3 or 4 guys that are significantly better.
Right. Now in Milwaukee, you got the freak, Middleton.
Yes.
Who would their third guy be? Would it be the guard from Virginia, Brogdon?
Brogdon. Yeah, that's not really a big 3.
Are we missing anybody there?
No,
I think we're missing.
They moved on from
Thon Maker's out of there.
Yeah, but he wasn't.
They made a trade. Yeah.
I don't think that we're looking at a team. I mean, think about that. Toronto has. Would you say Toronto? Okay, Kawhi Leonard, Lowry, and Gasol.
Yeah.
They also have a Danny Green. I mean, it's not
right. He's more of a role
complimentary.
player.
Yeah,
complimentary player.
So we don't really even have. This is a big 4. Now again,
Boston. There
you go. Yeah, Boston's got like a big 5.
Yeah, they've got a 5.
Look at that. Yeah. But this is a gigantic move. Elton Brand is really in tune with how this league is working.
He's
giving Howie Roseman a run for his money, man.
I'll tell you what. I mean, let's think about what is their bench now with the Sixers. Of course, they got this guy James Ennis too from Houston,
right?
Who's a really good defender.
Yes, he went to UNC, right?
No, he went to Long Beach State.
Oh, Long Beach,
State,
that's right.
Long Beach State. Simmons went to Houston. I got him confused with Jonathan Isaac. There's 2 Jonathans on Orlando. Simmons
Florida
went to
State.
Houston. That kid was a lottery pick, Isaac.
Now,
And
Simmons
I
was
got
in
confused.
didn't he go late first, though?
I'm not sure where he went. But now you're putting TJ and Korkmaz way down on the rotation now, which is where they belong, right? Zaire Smith, you don't know if he's what you're going to get
Can't
from
really
him.
count on him.
He's been hurt all year. I don't really think about him at all. This Boban guy is a very intriguing.
Love him.
That's an intriguing get that gets overlooked with the whole Tobias Harris thing sometimes, because you think about this guy can give 8 to 12 minutes of bench time and rest time for Joel Embiid down the stretch.
And you don't lose anything with a rim protector.
Right.
He's big. And, I think something that's undervalued is this is a tough team to be on if you're not loose and fun.
And he's apparently
going
to fit in perfectly
he is.
He's one of them zany Euro dudes.
Right. And Embiid already had him on the radar. Knows he's a nut. But that's what I'm saying, which is like, it used to be the opposite, where these free-flowing guys who are crazy, and it would be them trying to fit into this locker room of just quick and tight and everything, like the Spurs.
Now it's Jimmy Butler trying to fit into this locker room, which is kind of interesting. Yeah.
But I think it's an awesome fit. Tobias Harris, this kid could score 20 a night on this team.
Yeah, and he's really, over the last couple of years, he didn't come in out of Tennessee into the pros as a great three-point shooter. He's made himself a really good three-point shooter. He's got that length, was 6'9", almost 6'10". Hit that corner three, and it's just another athletic guy that they can put next to Embiid that can actually score. Is he going to get enough shots to get 20 a night with the Sixers? That's the thing. He might have to suffer a little bit of his offense, because now he's surrounded by
Redick,
4 other guys.
Like Redick, I think productivity goes down a little bit because you're not asking him to do as much. Where you have a guy at Harris who can play the 4 but stretch and get you 3-point shots, but also has the ability to take somebody off the dribble, whereas Redick doesn't. So the ball might be in Tobias Harris's hands more than it just normally is in Redick. And that's what I'm saying. Like, Redick is still going to be a great asset.
And think about the spacing now. That it's got to improve immensely with having a guy having a 4 that can really shoot.
Right.
I know Chandler hit some threes every now, but he wasn't a guy where you were thinking we're going to get this amount of offense out of this guy. You think about they've got 5 guys on the court that all average above 17 points a game. Think about that.
No, and they're all really smart passing the ball too, which is key. I'll tell you this: if you look at what the Sixers have been able to do this year and really last year with in-season moves, this team right now is just where we were and where this team is and where they're going. There really hasn't been something like this since, even Iverson when they were trying to build something. But this youth movement that they've established, and now
Harris is 26.
It's crazy.
Right?
It's crazy.
He's been in the league for a long time.
Butler is the elder statesman here.
Right. Yeah. Harris has been in the league. Also, this is his 5th team. Now, answer me that. Why does a guy like that's got skill and developed his talent end up on now his 5th team at the age of 26?
Well, this move was contract because they knew they weren't going. Jerry West knew he was not going to re-sign him.
The Clippers are just getting rid of anything and everything.
Right, except DeAndre Jordan, right?
But what about, Orlando? Did Orlando draft him? Then he went to Detroit, I think. He was in Milwaukee for a little while.
He played well in Detroit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes you have guys like Chris Gatling who make the All-Star team but got traded a ton. I don't know if it was an easier move. Sometimes you have guys who are – we'll have to see. This is his 2nd contract, right, that he's on right now.
I believe so.
Because he came off the rookie deal and he signed something. Yeah. So you have guys that have value in this league that are on rookie deals that you can move. And Detroit at the time was not as good as they were now. So maybe they thought, let's move for future picks. I don't know the answer to that
I don't
question.
either. It just makes you wonder.
Yeah, it makes you wonder to an extent, but here's the thing. It's not because he's an asshole. It's not Tobias Harris did not run himself out of Detroit. I think we can agree on that.
Well, and also, you look at those organizations like Orlando. They just haven't gotten it right, since the Shaq and Penny days, right? Detroit, when was the last time they were going? Larry Brown was there.
Right.
And they had, that's back in, 04, 05, somewhere around there. It's been a long time. The Clippers, I know they had some decent teams, but where they've been, since Chris Paul left, and it's kind of an organization. They got the new owner. And
Yeah,
it's
they've
just
blown it up. Right.
Kind of a strange organization. So,
all right. Before we get to Real Muto and the big move that was made by Matt Klentak, not the biggest move, but the big move so far. You and I were at Parks Casino last night.
Yes.
And we were there, and we were hanging out. We had a meeting. And we were told that...
A lot of big meetings going on.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Yeah.
You already know about 4-1.
A lot of meetings.
We were told Jackie the Joke Man was in the house.
Right, because Wednesday night's their big comedy night. With Joe Conklin.
Right.
And then we found out that Jackie the Joke Man is coming, and I'm like, I got to get a picture with him. Because I grew up, in the 70s, but I was in college in the 80s. Yeah. And I started listening to Stern in the mid-'80s when they made the switch to Philadelphia, when they flipped the switch and they simulcasted him
on
YSP, and I just fell in love with the show, like a lot of people did. But Jackie was a fixture on that show for many, many years. I'm like, I got to get a picture with him. And then we stayed for the act. We sat with him for about 45 minutes.
He was such a cool guy, right?
Yeah, so cool.
Yeah, and let me ask you, do you think it's just because he's up there now?
He's like 71 years old, I think.
He doesn't miss a beat. He's telling all these jokes, and we'll get to your favorite trait or characteristic about how he tells his jokes. But I was just curious, do you think that he was really cool? He talked to us. He's interested. He was interested in doing our show.
Yeah, yeah.
He doesn't know us from anybody.
No.
So I don't know if maybe he just got to the point where he's just happy that he's still doing. I mean, you and I are doing this in our 70s. I don't give a shit if it's in front of 2 people.
Right.
I'm going to be thanking everybody.
I can guarantee you this, all right? Mark this down. I will not be doing this in my 70s if I make it to 70.
You're not
guaranteed.
You're not 12 years out.
Huh? What?
You're not too far out. But you're right, and you brought this up at the dinner. You don't realize it until you see him on stage, the laughing while he's joking.
Oh, I love it. Like, nobody laughs harder at his jokes than him. Yeah. And he starts laughing as he's delivering the punchline.
Right.
I think it's freaking brilliant. and then if he doesn't get enough laughter out of the crowd, what?
Right.
That's not funny?
Yeah, exactly.
He taunts the crowd. It was great.
Yeah, and he has to explain it. That's why the turtle was wearing the Band-Aid. Shit, he's laughing the whole time.
Tell me that's not fucking funny.
Yeah, it's amazing. I feel like that would be the only way to tell jokes, right?
Yeah,
you have to laugh. But that's such a fine line.
Right.
You have to know your jokes are funny.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear anything new from him?
Well, I've never seen him before.
Me neither.
No, so I
thought you've seen him.
No, I've never seen him in a club before. I just heard him doing his bits on Stern. That was it. Yeah.
So we should throw this out there to the people, right? At Harry Mays to you, at Shander Show.
Mm-hmm.
We were thinking about having Jackie on with us twice a month, something like that.
On our radio show.
Correct.
Coming up. Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
Just to do what he does.
Sure. Yeah. Why not?
Now, do you actually want to have conversations with him?
Of course.
Okay, I didn't know if you wanted to.
Yeah, I don't like.
What happens with Sid?
Well, he's on with my buddy Sid Rosenberg on the Bernie. Our friend.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Sorry, scratch that.
Come on.
No. Our friend, Sid Rosenberg and Bernie, and he would come on a Friday, and he'd give like the Friday 5 or whatever. He'd give 5 jokes.
The Friday 5,
right?
Okay.
Yes, the Friday 5. And he would just deliver them, and he'd laugh, and he was in studio too.
Okay,
so it has a different effect when versus over the phone. But we could do that. We could do just sort of talk about the Stern, whatever he's more comfortable doing.
I want to put him in a position where he can react to stuff without preparing for it.
Okay, well, we can ask him about sort of current events.
Yeah, or part of it. You've seen some of these misses that I used to when I was active on Tinder and screen capping the awful profiles.
Oh, yeah. Those are the ones that you would send me on a text message that I'd wake up.
Janie and Egan.
Yeah, with the bro and Egan, and I would be on a text chain that I couldn't get off of. And there'd be these pictures of these just... I can't even begin to describe it.
That's just pulling up.
No, don't.
Just a show, no?
It's awful. No, because, stop. It's just terrible.
Okay.
Yeah, misses. I love how you call them misses.
No,
like a miss.
They're major misses. Not Mrs. like
MRS.
Mrs. Jones.
Yeah, right.
But a miss.
Mrs. Maisel.
Yes, exactly right. Exactly. I'd kill for Miss Maisel.
Oh, she's hot.
Who plays her?
I don't know her name, but
have you seen her anything before?
No,
okay.
But she looks great on the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think we should do that. Like, part of me was thinking we would throw these misses at Jackie, and he would just be like, "Oh, look at this one," and, something along those lines.
Okay. Well,
you think he could slide into that?
I think he could do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
All right. That's
yeah.
So the Phillies make a move, and then we'll talk about some things in Atlanta and get the hell out of here. But Matt Klentak, I think, has done a lot right now to ease the blow of no Machado, no Harper.
No.
He's eased the blow.
No, he has not.
Come on.
If they end up with Real Muto and no Harper or no Machado,
you're going to be that upset?
Yes.
Why? Because they didn't spend stupid money?
Exactly.
Apparently, they are the highest bidder out there.
Well, then what the hell's going on?
He doesn't want to play here.
There just keeps to be, this mystery team is still out there, and we don't know if it's the San Diego Padres. The San Diego fucking Padres are not getting Bryce Harper.
I did a hit.
I don't care how much money they might have to spend.
Remember,
that's it.
Nick Hardwick, remember him?
Yeah, my buddy, the Charger,
exactly
who's
right.
a center.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Did a hit on the show this morning.
Oh, you did?
They are like up and giddy about the fact.
Of course. When have they ever been able to talk about the Padres in February?
It gave him an opportunity.
Of course.
They believe that there's a shot
This is radio gold that Scott Boras is actually saying, hey, the San Diego Padres, they've got serious interest.
But it's
my ass.
Okay, you bring up something that's a bigger picture here, and this is what I'm kind of struggling with. From a local standpoint, where San Diego, Philadelphia, Chicago, there's buzz and there's talk. But this is not a national storyline. Look at what's happened over the last 3 months. We've had the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
We've had trades in the NBA up until today. Baseball has had an opportunity really over the last month and a half to land 2 top 10 players in different markets and have it be talked about. Like, can you imagine if Harper or Machado signed today, Harry?
Yeah.
It would knock every trade that was made in the NBA off.
It would. And something makes me wonder if that's why they're sort of dragging all this out until they get, we're beyond the Super Bowl now. We're beyond the NBA trade deadline. It's between, pitchers and catchers are, getting ready to go to
next
Florida
week, right?
or whatever, and then the spring training will actually begin. And there's that window from there until March Madness where this will all happen, where they will have really the focus of the sports world.
Right.
And they'll own a couple of days on radio, television, blogs, newspapers, whatever, where they won't have to share it with anything to say, they knocked off the Tobias Harris trade right off the front page. There'll be nothing else.
Yes.
That makes me think that it's almost contrived, that we're going to string this out and make everybody still wonder. Every day they're going to go to their computer every day. Hey, did Harper sign anywhere? Are the Yankees involved now? All they sort of building question and drama and all that. And then all of a sudden when they get their news cycle all to themselves, boom.
But wouldn't they have that already?
I don't know. I mean, the Super Bowl, although it
No, I'm saying, let's say that it's not Harper or Machado, it's Johnson and Smith. 2 top 20 guys, 2 top 30 guys.
Well, how about Dallas Keuchel?
Okay, that's good.
That's
live
the Phillies might get him.
Right. Now, wouldn't they still have ownership or claim to that time frame? Because there's nothing else that would interrupt them. So I agree with what you're saying. I just think it's such a passive way that baseball looks at this and says, well, we're not going to do anything with the Super Bowl. We're not going to do anything with the NBA. Why not go? Why not make a freaking announcement?
This is an acknowledgement that baseball knows where it is in the pecking order now across the country.
Okay, this is a major – this is probably the biggest red flag that I've seen for all the discussions about baseball.
That's an opinion. That's not fact. I can't back that up with anything.
It doesn't have to be fact. I think there's enough there to draw from it and say it's a valid take. I mean, what does it tell you if they're just defeated? And they say, we've got 2 top 10 players, one of them being Bryce Harper, and him going to the Dodgers would knock off Tom Brady in that awful Super Bowl?
Okay, for maybe a day, but the whole thing about once it's done, then it's done. The wondering of when is this guy going to sign? Who's going to sign him? Is there a mystery team? Who is the mystery team? Is he really going to the fucking White Sox?
Right.
There's no way he's going to San Diego. It's discussion that keeps going, and it keeps them. We're still wondering about it, right?
Yeah, but it's more passive, and I think people are more like, just get this damn thing over with, as opposed to LeBron, Anthony Davis, NBA.
See, I'm done with that. I'm done with this fucking LeBron bullshit.
It's not going to stop.
It's
but it keeps people
I don't pay attention to it anymore. I really don't.
Well, LeBron, maybe not LeBron, but Anthony Davis is going to get moved.
Yeah, I know. I just hope he doesn't go to Boston.
I don't think he will.
Okay.
I think they're so disgusted with Boston at this point.
The Bucks, the Clippers, the Lakers, and the Knicks were the 4 teams that came out a couple days ago. Yeah. I don't want him in New York either. He goes to New York, and all of a sudden, Kyrie or
Durant.
KD goes there, and we got an issue.
I think Durant's on his way.
I prefer, you do, to New York.
I do.
I prefer the Knicks just remain irrelevant.
The problem is that they actually have money to spend.
Well, yeah, they've had money in the past, and they just don't know how to spend it.
Well, they've spent it irresponsibly. Yeah. And I don't know if you've had in the past, the last 5 or 10 years, a player like Durant or Kyrie who has expressed interest and it matching up with them having some money. But I guess you're right when you look at it like that.
Can the Sixers maintain this starting 5 for next year, or maybe starting 5 minus Redick?
Yeah.
Okay. They can sign Tobias Harris,
luxury
and Butler.
tax. Yep.
All right.
They can max all 4 guys with luxury tax.
That's all I want to do.
It's fine with me.
Let's do it.
It's fine with me.
Okay.
I have no problem whatsoever. That's why you made this trade with 2 guys on expiring deals.
Yeah, and you're giving up. You had a lot of assets, and now you've given up those assets. We always say that part of the reason and the attraction of having all these assets was not necessarily to actualize them as draft picks when the drafts come up, but to use them in trades.
Correct.
So they did it. I'll tell you, man, Elton Brand. It's looking like a guru right now.
This guy he's done, everything he's done has just buried anything Colangelo left.
He's been on the job for what? How many months?
3, 4?
It took him 70-some, 80 days to get him, right? Even though he was just in-house.
Right.
And now all of a sudden, since he's been there, he's made a couple of blockbusters.
Can you imagine if you're the Blue Coats right now thinking, God, this guy would have led the league in just great transactions for the D-League.
It's the G League.
Oh, yeah. No, that's the Gatorade League.
Yes.
You can still call it the D-League.
Oh, you can?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's just if you want to bow down to the Gatorade element of it. That's
okay.
All right. I haven't been the same since we left from Atlanta.
Yeah, me either, actually.
And everybody up here is like, oh, it's going around. It's going around. Mm-hmm. Well, we were down in Atlanta, and we got something.
Right.
And I still have the worst freaking pressure right here.
Yeah, I don't have that, but I've been under the weather.
What's going on here?
It's called flu season, man. It's like cold and flu season.
Yeah, but we were in Atlanta.
What does that have to do with it? You're in an airplane. An airplane is like a tube of germs.
So you probably got sick on the airplane.
I got all these slapdicks, 2 rows behind me, coughing up a storm.
No wonder why you were sneezing 20 times in a row.
Yeah.
So you got sick on the plane. I picked you up.
Right.
And then you got my car infected.
Correct.
And then I got sick.
Your rental car.
Correct. Yeah. I returned that sucker.
You did?
Yeah.
Good.
I did it on a Sunday, so they wouldn't have to peek in there.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. I don't like people getting in my car. Do you?
No. I don't.
Like not inside. Like if I know you're getting in the car, that's fine. You're going to get in the front seat.
Right.
I don't like when they come up to my window and put their head.
It's like a cop.
Yeah.
It's like a police officer.
Yeah. Don't put your face. Yeah. Like you and I can have a conversation like this if you're in your car and the window's up right now. Yeah. I don't need to have my head in the car.
No, I agree.
There was a guy this morning. I had a dentist appointment.
It's an invasion of you're like,
I didn't like it. This guy is doing great work. He's taking out trash dumpsters down 60th and Walnut. That's where my dentist is. Right?
Okay.
So I had an early dentist appointment. I'm on the side of the street. And he comes out of the truck and he wants me to move my car so he can take out the dumpsters. No problem with it. No problem. He's just getting closer and closer. And then finally he's got his head. And I actually, I don't know if this was rude or not, but I did it. I actually closed the window to move him back a little.
That's an instant sign. Back off.
Yeah. I did not want him in the car.
Yeah.
All right. At Harry Mays to you, at Shander Show. Is there anything else?
Well, we've got to promote the fan cred stuff that we do. We did another one the other night against the Raptors, a very uninspiring effort by the Sixers.
But we always have fun. That's the thing, too.
Yeah.
The show, and we got to credit our producer Cameron for this, but the shows, the Fan Cred broadcast just turned into shows when we're doing, especially blowouts.
Yes.
Like
well, we got to entertain.
Exactly right. That's exactly right.
That's exactly right.
So we've got Fan Cred coming up Tuesday.
Celtics.
That's right.
Yeah.
So Sixers, Celtics. Harry and I will be doing that. Make sure you download the Fan Cred app so you can be part of it. April 1st, if you haven't already, 973ESPN.com/app. It's an easy way that you can listen to us for one.
Well, it's in the App Store, too. You just put 97.3 and the ESPN pops up and boom.
Anything else going on?
No, that's it.
So I have a question for you. Fox 29, would you want to come on with me on a Sunday
No.
and promote our show?
What day?
On a Sunday morning.
Not this Sunday.
I'm on every Sunday.
Yeah, well, we got to wait till it's closer to.
No, I know. Yeah. I know.
How early are we talking?
8:30 is I'm on every Sunday at 8:30.
That's not too bad.
Let me tell you something. People watch that.
I could do that.
People watch the Good Day Weekend show.
I could do that.
All right,
I
me, Lauren Johnson.
I could do that.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, would I have to wear a suit?
No, I've been on there wearing a bunch of different stuff.
I can wear a sport coat.
There are days in which
one of my untucked shirts.
Yeah, why isn't Untucked on board with us?
Well, they should be. I'm a big fan.
Why don't you get on there?
Hey, you know, it's not like they're not cheap shirts, man.
No,
like they're
these
quality
things are pretty expensive.
Yeah.
No, you wear I don't even tuck my button down in. I wear a button down, no tie, and a blazer.
Mm-hmm.
You can't even tell that it's untucked.
Right, because you're behind the desk.
Correct. Yeah, you can wear jeans and sneakers. Nobody's gonna see the difference.
Yeah. Does Johnny Clark do that at NBC Sports Philly?
I don't know.
Sometimes I think those guys wear shorts.
I think so.
In the summertime.
Well, you heard the rumor about the one guy, right?
No, who?
I'm just kidding.
Oh, jeez. Oh, also,
you have anything else?
I will be writing a sports gambling column starting next week for that Celtics-Sixers game.
Nice.
It'll come out on Tuesday's edition, and that'll be a weekly thing.
Every Tuesday?
Well, it depends on what game I'm picking. But the story has to be in on Monday to be in Tuesday's paper. There's a deadline.
So you have a deadline now?
Correct.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
I'm under deadline.
You're an adult.
I know.
All right, is there anything else? You got anything going on with Tony? Or I got the show with Brian, new episodes
Not
on that.
right now. It's possible.
Okay.
No,
I'm just making sure. All right, at Harry Mays to you, at Shander Show. Make sure you're following us as we'll bring you another edition of Derailed coming up soon. We appreciate everybody hanging out with us.